Ever feel like we're on the verge of something massive, something that could change everything?
Feels like we're living in a science fiction novel.
Well, get ready because today's deep dive is all about a project that feels straight out of science fiction. Humanity's Last Exam.
It's certainly a catchy name.
We're going deep into all the articles and announcements about this ambitious endeavor, trying to wrap our heads around what's really going on.
And what's really fascinating about this project is the sheer scale of its ambition. We're not just talking about simple AI testing anymore. This is different. Humanity's Last Exam aims to create the world's toughest AI benchmark.
So, no more AI trying to tell the difference between a picture of a cat and a dog.
Not quite, no. We've moved beyond those sorts of basic tasks.
Right, because AI, like GPT-4, is already acing those tests.
Exactly. Recognizing images, translating languages, AI is already mastering those tasks. Humanity's Last Exam aims to push AI even further.
It's about really trying to figure out if AI can truly grasp complex concepts, think critically, even innovate. It's exciting and a little bit unnerving, to be honest.
Absolutely. It raises so many questions about the nature of intelligence itself.
And speaking of questions, who's behind this ambitious project?
Well, the Center for AI Safety, CAIS, is spearheading it.
CAIS, they're leaders in AI safety research, right?
They are.
So they're not just focused on what AI can do, but how to make sure it's done responsibly, which is reassuring, especially with a name like Humanity's Last Exam.
It does make you think of some dystopian future where AI takes over.
Right. But seriously, how are they planning to create this ultimate test for AI?
Well, they're crowdsourcing the questions for this exam.
Crowdsourcing. So anyone can submit a question.
Not exactly anyone. They're looking for 1,000 expert-level questions. We're talking about questions designed by PhDs, seasoned professionals, real experts in their fields.
Wow, that's impressive. But also kind of intimidating.
I imagine it's quite a challenge to craft a question that can stump a super-intelligent AI.
Seriously, that's like next-level brain power required. Where do you even begin?
Well, I suppose that's the real heart of this Humanity's Last Exam. It's not just about testing artificial intelligence. It's about exploring the nature of intelligence itself, isn't it?
What questions truly reveal deep understanding, not just the ability to process information? It's a fascinating question.
It really is, and it gets even more interesting when you think about the specific guidelines they have for these questions.
Oh, guidelines. So it's not just any question goes.
Exactly. There's some ground rules. For example, questions have to be original. No Googling for answers.
Makes sense. We don't want the AI cheating on its own exam.
And then there are the ethical considerations as well. After all, we are talking about AI that could potentially surpass human intelligence.
Ethical considerations, now that's a whole other can of worms we should probably open. Ethical considerations, huh? That's where things get really interesting. What sort of boundaries are we talking about here?
Well, for example, they specifically say no questions about building dangerous stuff, like how to weaponize a virus.
Yikes. Yeah, I think we've all seen enough movies to know that's not a road we want to go down. But it does make you wonder, what happens if an AI actually passes this exam?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Like, have we just handed over the keys to the kingdom?
It's tempting to think that way, but the reality is more nuanced. Even if an AI aces this exam, it doesn't automatically mean it's smarter than humans in every way.
Because intelligence isn't a one-size-fits-all kind of thing, right?
Exactly. It's multifaceted. So passing this exam wouldn't be about declaring a winner. It's more about understanding where AI really stands in comparison to us.
So less about AI versus humans and more about understanding what this technology can really do.
Exactly. It's about figuring out its potential, its limitations, and then using that knowledge to shape the future of AI development.
Because ultimately, we want to make sure it aligns with our values, with our goals as humans.
Without a doubt. And this is what makes this whole project so fascinating. It's not just a test for AI. It's a test for us, for humanity as well.
You know, that's a really good point. It makes you realize just how significant this whole endeavor really is. It's not just about lines of code and algorithms, is it? It's about getting to the core of what it means to be intelligent, to be human.
Absolutely. And the range of expertise they're looking for in those questions highlights that, doesn't it?
It's not just computer science and programming, is it?
No, not at all. We're talking philosophers, historians, even artists and musicians. It's about bringing in individuals who understand the full spectrum of human intelligence.
Because it's not just about being smart in the traditional sense.
Right. It's about being able to see the world through different lenses, to embrace diverse ways of thinking.
If we really want to challenge AI, we need to capture everything that human intelligence represents, right? The creativity, the adaptability, even the ability to connect seemingly unrelated ideas in new and unexpected ways.
It's a tall order, for sure. Some might even say it's an impossible task.
Trying to define something as complex and elusive as human intelligence, it's like they're trying to bottle lightning.
And yet, that's what makes it so exciting.
Yeah.
Because in attempting to define it, to test it, we're forced to confront our own preconceptions about what intelligence truly is.
About consciousness, about what it means to be human in an age where technology is evolving at an unprecedented pace.
Precisely. It's a question that has captivated philosophers and scientists for centuries, and now AI is forcing us to grapple with it in entirely new ways.
I've got to say, this deep dive has really got me thinking. It's like we're getting a sneak peek into the future.
A future where AI plays an increasingly prominent role in our lives, for better or for worse.
And that future is being shaped right now, with every line of code, with every algorithm, with every challenging question posed in humanity's last exam. And speaking of which, the deadline for submitting those mind-bending questions is coming up fast, isn't it? November 1st, 2024?
It's right around the corner.
I'm sure there are some amazing minds out there hard at work crafting those questions.
And while there are certainly some impressive accolades up for grabs, imagine having your name on a paper that helps redefine artificial intelligence. But I have a feeling that for many, the real reward is about being part of something truly groundbreaking.
Something that could potentially change the world as we know it.
Exactly. It's about recognizing the power of this technology, not just for what it can do, but for what it can teach us about ourselves.
I love that perspective. This deep dive has been full of those aha moments for me. But before we get too lost in the philosophical weeds, I think it's time we shifted gears a bit and talked about the potential impact humanity's last exam could have on the future of AI research.
It's huge, potentially. Because this exam, it's not just about evaluating where AI is right now, it's about setting the stage for where it goes next.
So it's like this benchmark, this measuring stick that's going to keep pushing the boundaries of what AI can do even after the exam itself is done.
Exactly. Imagine the questions on humanity's last exam. They could spark entirely new avenues of research, new ways of thinking about AI development.
So instead of AI researchers focusing on, say, making a chatbot that sounds more human, they might be working on an AI that can understand and solve these incredibly complex problems that we're talking about for this exam.
Exactly. AI systems specifically designed to grapple with those multifaceted, nuanced challenges. That's pretty exciting. You think about it.
It is. It's like we're planting a seed with humanity's last exam, a seed that could grow into a whole new branch of AI research, one that we can't even fully imagine yet.
And as those branches grow, so too will our understanding of AI, what it's truly capable of, where it fits into our world. That's the beauty of it, isn't it? This exam, it's not the finish line. It's the starting pistol.
It's funny, we've been talking about all these big philosophical ideas, these huge implications of humanity's last exam. But I want to bring it back down to earth for a minute, For our listeners who are just tuning in, who are just wrapping their heads around all of this, what's the one thing you really want them to understand about humanity's last exam?
That's a good question. I think for me, it's about reminding people that the future isn't set in stone. This idea that AI is going to take over. It's not a foregone conclusion. It's on us.
It's about the choices we make, the questions we ask, the way we decide to shape this technology moving forward.
Exactly. We need to understand AI, but we also need to engage with it. We need to help guide its development in a way that benefits everyone, not just a select few.
It's not about being afraid of AI. It's about being informed, being engaged. It's about taking control of the narrative, right?
100%. And that's a dialogue, a conversation that everyone needs to be a part of, not just scientists and engineers. This concerns all of us. The more we know about AI, the better equipped we are to navigate this crazy, exciting future that's unfolding before our very eyes.
This entire deep dive has been eye-opening, to say the least. We've just scratched the surface here, haven't we?
We've only just begun to explore the possibilities, I think.
And I, for one, am both excited and slightly terrified to see what the future holds, but that's the beauty of it, right?
Absolutely. And for everyone listening, remember that November 1st deadline. That's your chance to potentially shape the future of AI. Who knows, you might just ask the question that changes everything.
And even if you're not crafting those mind-bending questions, stay curious. Keep exploring. The world of AI is constantly evolving, and we're all along for the ride. That's all the time we have for today's deep dive into humanity's last exam. Thanks for joining us.